and welcome back to round 1 of the playoffs for the Pro Gaming Series 2017, powered by Bacchus Energy Drink. We are your casters for Game 2. I'm Vulcan, and joining with me is Shimbo.
Good one for a night, ladies and gentlemen. We just came in mula doon sa unang laro ng ating best of 3 series played between these two teams who are in the playoffs. This round 1 nga, JSK Esports versus Imperium Pro Team, and that game, textbook approach by Imperium Pro Team against JSK Esports, denying them of a victory. Of course, 1-0 na po dito yung Imperium Pro Team, and I think that's a very, not very, but I'd say, you know, pagpasok ng mid-game, in the instance that IPT group up, it's kind of a one-sided game na.
And let's see, I mean, this is going to be Game 2. We are on the gauntlet style for the playoffs.
Potentially, game set na to para sa IPT.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best of 3. If IPT gets 2-0, immediately they advance to the next gauntlet, which is on, you know, playoffs day 2.
Yes.
It will be against AEX.
is waiting on the round 2, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, makita natin na ang nakaabang sa finals would be Mineski. Whoever wins that fight in the round 2 would acclaim Empire X. So yun ang malaking tanong. Yun ang malaking tanong, ladies and gentlemen. It's like potentially, mas mataas yung chance talaga dito ng Mineski para i-represent ang ating bansa for the upcoming GPL to be held here in the country. And of course, you got AEX as well. It's the biggest challenge really for IPT and JSK, all the more for JSK, who still has no victory on this series. The big question is, will it become 1-1 or will IPT make a convincing 2-0? Yun ang malaking tanong, no?
I mean, this is what players are fighting for. To go to GPL. The final game, the champions will represent the Philippines. And it's the first time Philippines is ever gonna host the GPL. So stay tuned for that.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Kung ikaw yung team, they say that the Filipino audience is the best crowd in the world to hold a gaming event. Now imagine kung ikaw pa yung team na yun, di ba? Tapos maglalaro ka sa harapan ng mga Filipino players on an international event. You know, going in an international event, you fly to another country, di ba? There's lots of surge of emotions, mixed emotions na nasa ibang bansa ka, iba yung nanonood sa'yo, you're representing the country. Eto, you're representing the country sa harap ng country mismo. Sa harap ng country mismo. And of course, for our viewers, be sure to check out our website to know the details ng ticket para sa GPL, this upcoming GPL 2017 Spring to be held at Samsung Hall, SM Aura. Limited lamang yung tickets natin.
Yeah, actually, it's going to be very, you know, it's exciting, yet you don't really feel it because it feels kind of like, I mean, wow, it's going to be Philippines hosting it this time. Instead, you know, players fly off to a different country.
Yun nga eh. I kind of feel na kung pro player ka, may isip mo na, ay sayang, hindi ako lilipad sa ibang bansa. Pero actually, the intensity, you know, nakitang-kita ka kaagad ng mga Filipino player. And not to mention the feeling of the Filipino audience cheering for you.
Yeah, and not to mention how they came up here is because of what? I mean,
yes, of course,
stepping stone to the PGS.
Pinag-uusapan natin GPL.
Yeah, GPL.
Now we got PGS, syempre, we have the Piltovers Finest. Of course, for the Piltovers Finest na tuloy-tuloy lamang pong nagaganap ngayon for this March. For this March, we have March 11 is NIC Gaming Lounge in South Manila, Net Central Jensen. Ay, nako, the biggest shoutouts. Ayan, kay Kev in Mindanao, South Cotabato, and of course, another one in Mindanao, Davao del Norte Skynet Cafe. Mapapansin nyo po, meron tayong dalawang Mindanao League, Mindanao Tournaments na magaganap para dyan sa Piltovers Finals natin. Yan, meron pa po sa Magnet Link Cyber Cafe on Mindanao. Yan, MQ Portal in Ilocos Norte, Infuse in Quezon City, Armar.net Cafe in Zamboanga, SNS Computer Zone, of course, Cagayan de Oro, and of course, Sandbox Cyber Cafe sa Cavite. All of that powered by Seagate, ladies and gentlemen. And ayan nga po, to give you an idea of the Piltovers Finest is nationwide yan. Mula Apari hanggang Hulo, walking distance. And, okay, so, guys, wag na natin patagalin to. Let's get into the drafting phase. Let's get into the... okay. Let's see. Mukhang may technical difficulty tayo. Mukhang hindi yata magiging available pa yung ating drafting phase. So, let's just continue. Understanding that draft kanina, no? We got a Cassidy pick up mula kay Spotless, which is a successful pick up against the fight of Mineski against the fight of JSK against Mineski, di ba? Naging 1-1 sila doon. Surprisingly, even Amplifier and us, we are mistaken to judge spotless Casadin. But that is not the case anymore para dito sa laban, no? With IPT.
Yeah, it's because IPT's lineup was almost a direct counter to that Casadin. I mean, they revealed it pretty early. That's something that maybe JSK had to hold on to before showing their cards, and that's how IPT played.
Yeah, and it's like, you say sa mga best friend mo, taking on one of the best League of Legends team in the country. Picking up a Casadin, it's a no-brainer na IPT will be preparing for that. And Lulu and Zillion pick up in the mid lane. Clearly, this is something that this is like a message na yung IPT. They have their eyes set against this Casadin on spotless. You know, you can observe as well nung nangyari yung sa mid game kung saan nagkakasama-sama na dito yung IPT. Ang hirap. Hindi basta-basta nakapasok madali sa spotless.
I mean, yeah, you go on about that, but I still believe that. I mean, JSK Esports, a new team to the PGS, made it to the playoffs. That means something.
That means something.
Actually, I saw one of the players. They looked really happy and excited, and they can still bounce off to this game if they secure one victory. We might be going to Game 3.
The cool thing about JSK Esports, if they secure a victory on this one, the momentum for the Game 3 would be on JSK. And the pressure for the Game 3
will be on
IPT. That's one. Kaya napaka-crucial. Pero ngayon kasi, ang may momentum, IPT cannot be denied. Ayan nga. So, well, alam natin. For the most part, guys, if you follow JSK Esports sa regular season, ang lagi nilang panalo sa mga 1-1 series nila, nasa Game 2. Nasa Game 2.
I mean, if you get 1-1, it's like, it has that psychological effect on you, like, the pressure is onto you, but with that said, I mean...
I would suggest JSK Esports to go back to their roots, play aggressive. Really, they're very capable naman. Kita sa laro nila na they can go toe-to-toe in terms of fights against IPT. Pero kung textbook approach, I'd say marami kasing cards talaga ang IPT. And we'll learn more of that as we head on to the drafting phase. JSK Esports versus Imperium Pro Team. May one score na po. May isang victory na po ang Imperium Pro Team dito. Swap for the blue side on JSK. Of course, IPT on the red side. For our bands, rolling the 10-band system, we're gonna be seeing the Elise, Gragas, and Rumble. First priority pick dito mula sa JSK Esports. The Rumble pickup, I really love it. Kanina si JLC talagang sinusulatan lamang. No? Talagang nilalatagan lamang ng red carpet. Yung backline dito ng IPT. And all of them, they're just waiting. Oh, sige, pasok ka. Casadin. You know, Lulu is still a pickup here on IPT. Might be going for a more standard approach because Lulu is dedicated for the Casadin pickup dito na hindi pa nga pinili ng JSK Esports. We're gonna be seeing Amalzahar. All of that lock in. Kha'Zix as well in the ranks of IPT. We're not gonna be seeing Ivern's Spears Ivern. And of course, the Rengar. And of course, the Graves here, as you could see, how IPT would definitely want to disable the jungler here of JSK Esports. With the changes to the support, we'll be seeing JSK this time gonna be rolling the Lulu.
That's really interesting. And
interesting, really. I'd say against the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, against the Kha'Zix. And look at that light picking up that Zillion again.
Okay.
It's really, really hard for Spear. I mean, his best champion, Ivern, has been banned for the second time in the playoffs. The pressure is really onto that. And not to mention, I think he only lost one game with his Ivern. I mean, that's huge. That gives
75% win rate after 4 games to be played in the regular season.
Yes, and that's why IPT is such a high priority ban. And we all know that.
Number 1 ban ng IPT nga.
Yeah, and after Spears, Ivern is banned away. What's next? It's the Rengar. What's after Rengar? It's the Kha'Zix. They didn't ban Kha'Zix because their first pick is Kha'Zix.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we'll be seeing here might be a manifestation of changes in the 7.5. May over kanina sa Kalista. But this is what I would suggest as well as I try to understand the 7.5 patch. Yes, there are nerfs on Varus. You're not even seeing any bans on Varus right now. Yes, there are nerfs on Jhin, on the utility ADCs that we'd learn. Pero with the nerfs on Exhaust, which actually benefits attack speed based ADCs, and maybe the update as well on the Warlord's Bloodlust would work fine para sa ating Ashe na pick up dito ng IPT. Cannot be denied that on top of this Kha'Zix and the hate, it's gonna be Light supporting them. Clearly, IPT would be investing a lot on a triangular manner dito sa kanilang composition from the mid lane to the jungle and to their ADC. Para naman sa JSK, we'd be seeing once again a Jhin to be opened, allowed by IPT. saying that it's 7.5 now. We believe that Jin is weaker, but of course the stats, we're still seeing the high win rates on Jin really. And you also have again the Lulu pickup there. There's the Zac though on Spear. Now this might be a threatening pickup para sa JSK. Those are pickups on the later part. We also have Weasel on this Nautilus. Lots and lots of crowd control available for JSK. They are looking better actually on this draft.
I mean, from the drafting phase alone, JSK is really sticking to that standard, picks. I mean, Nautilus in the top lane is always seen in all the scenes. I mean,
wala pang talo si Weasel dito sa Nautilus
actually,
niya.
a huge win rate. Same as JLC on that Poppy again, but Zac just might be what Spear needs in this game right now. The pressure's really onto him. Not to mention that in the banning phase alone, 2 jungler bans, maybe make that 3. That's huge.
That might be a big question and a big mistake here by IPT. Napalusot yata natin. Hindi yata, napalusot natin. Dito yung Zac. Oo nga pala, Zac Spear has played only 1 game on Zac in the regular season. And yes, it has won. Okay? Malaking tanong kasi for the most part, guys, sa ating regular season, ang dami pong Zac ban.
Yeah, that's true.
Napakaraming Zac ban, kaya bihirang-bihira mo lang siya makitang pick up dito. Hechijo has played 1 Zac game though, so pero not as successful as Spear. And now, fully understanding the full composition dito, I will definitely say this is better.
This is better.
Para sa JSK Esports. Whereas Imperium Pro Team would be saying something kind of the same doon sa nangyari sa ating game 1 with Lulu, not in the hands of Imperium Pro Team. Rather, we're gonna be seeing Malzahar is still definitive threat pag nag-dive ka sa composition ng Imperium Pro Team. But that is the question. The only diver here really for JSK Esports, I would say, would be the Zac, which is the tankiest member. You wouldn't really want to land your ultimate if you're Malzahar on the Zac. And, this might prove hard para kay Hate on this Ashe, the Zac pickup.
True. And I like to really go back to that composition that you were talking about, Shimbo. I mean, just looking at it, the confidence that JSK, I mean, just from the lineup alone, Nautilus, a Zac, a Jace to counter that Zillion, that huge range.
Yes.
This is going to be
maybe
a turnaround for JSK.
Safer than Kassadin because in the instance that Imperium Pro Team group up, hindi kailangan tumalon o lumapit ni Spotless dito. Jace has a very, very flexible playing mechanic, which is you could just go range, you could just go for poke. Haven't seen any visit really on Jace in the patch 7.5. And squad goes dito ng JSK Esports. Rems might be in kill range, but he has the shield available. Puts in avoid links to drop and block that Q from Weasel. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the introduction. This is game 2. In this best of 3 series to be played between JSK Esports versus Imperium Pro Team in the round 1 of the Pro Gaming Series 2017 Spring Split powered by Bacchus Energy Drink. Drive your energy.
I mean, JSK's lineup is something that IPT may have not wanted. I mean, why commit to a fight that is close combat where IPT excels at? Whereas JSK, I mean, they have a Jace, a Jim with the curtain call, same as Nautilus, can just provide kiting, provide guard, and Zac is there to do maybe a disengage. So maybe JSK is actually transitioning to maybe a more favorable lineup like a long range comp where they don't need to get near IPT, where we see JLC is very good in close range combat.
Nice, ladies and gents. So let's see what can be the outcome of this game. To take note that the momentum is obviously in the hands of IPT here after their victory on that game 1. This time with JSK with a better comp. Looking quite good really. It was heavily on Spear here, on Spear Zac. On the early gangs, pagpasok ng ating level 3. Actually kahit level 2 pwede na rin.
Really high expectations onto Spear.
Yes.
I mean, the pressure is really onto him to deliver for his team. Same as Spotless fighting one of the really good mid laners in the Philippine server, which is Light. So let's see what happens.
We should be expecting more conservative 5 minutes sa laro natin. Synonymous, dun sa game 1 kanina, you can see here that Weasel is steadily losing trade up against JLC here because I think that's more intuitive because of the pickup ng corrupted potion natin, pero hindi naman talaga ganun obvious yun. things are pretty much standard in terms of the first item here with A-Style opting to pick up a longsword. Ayan, we got our Keystone Masteries available. I'm curious if Spear would be using that Stormborn pack, which is, I know it's very much intended naman para support. Excited lang ako dun sa bagong Keystone Mastery. That's gonna be the visit there by Kulit for Splash Away.
A really close call for Spotless. I mean, that's in kill range for him, same as the bomb. And going back to what you said,
more utility on Jace here,
yeah, that's true. I mean,
oh.
The reason why JLC lost the trade is because of that undying mastery. But we might see a visit.
Yeah, A-Style with the 4th bullet!
Gonna redeem himself. The 4th bullet will not do much, but Banks is actually really low. Burn the heal, but Hate is still going all
Spear
in.
may need to move up.
The heal has been burned. Same as the flash. This will be a disengage for IPT.
Could be done better if Spear was closer. Good job there by JSK to at least set up the bait here for Spear. Had it been that Elastic Slingshot connected, would be a first blood.
That would be a huge help.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Look at
Kasi pagkatapos ng engage na yun, may serrated na to si A-Style.
And going back to the top lane matchup, the reason why, I mean, Whistle is really getting out-traded by the Poppy is the fact that Poppy in the early game has more armor than a Nautilus, has more, damage
the
with
passive
the hammer
as well.
smash, yes, of course, and more shield. And the Undying deals more damage in basic attacks, where Whistle only has the strength to Colossus, which is only a shield.
Yeah,
it's not gonna do much.
Would
but
require to land his crowd controls as well. Here comes Top and
over
Spotless.
the wall, surprise for Spotless.
Yep.
That's going to be first blood. That is something Spotless did not see coming. Has to expect more, knowing that is a Kha'Zix.
Yes, just a quick jump, really. Even Kulit not been needing to burn his flash for that engage. Had it been siguro nandun si Spear sana to at least counter-engage. At the least, isang flash sana mawawala dito sa IPT. First blood again. So, JSK, that would be big. Especially on this Kha'Zix. Steadily picking up more safe. Well, ito naman talaga yung jungle item niya. Pero ang laki kasi ng scaling ng vision na napo-provide netong ating ng jungle item dito ng ating Kha'Zix.
And not to mention, Spotless really has to sword those side rushes, so he does not get the same treatment he got last time against Kulit. I mean, it is a Kha'Zix. He has to leave the gap closing, and it's really surprising. So that's going to be more of a pressure onto Spotless for those crucial vision wards.
And knowing that Spotless has no flash, along with his tracker snap, you can see as well that Kulit lay down his control ward here in the mid lane. Actually put it more closer sa side dito ng JSK. And of course, there's a ping there. Clearly a signal that Spear would be there. They cannot really deny and stop Spotless here in taking that control ward, knowing that Spear would be there.
Here comes the 3-man gag, Light gets stun. It's going to be a kill, but he has his ultimate teleport from the top lane. A disengage for JSK. Go backs away, knowing that JLC is there. That was actually a good gag. Hence, if Light didn't have his ultimate, that would have been really great.
And nice beat there by JSK. Clearly, Light did not expect Weasel to arrive there. What he is, tunnel visioning in, is that he knows that Spear is in the mid lane, knowing na nilagay niya yung ward na yun on top of that control ward. He thought that it was only an opener for Spotless to destroy that control ward. Pero yun pala si Weasel na yung nandun. Nice bait there by JSK. Mad props.
Mad props to them, and also for JSK for baiting out that teleport for JLC with a teleport down, and also Whistle's teleport is actually half cooldown on, so in terms of engage, I think JSK has that information. If they are keeping track of the cooldowns of summoners, that will really help them out in terms of starting team fights where they want to.
And this is going to be a big counterplay here by JSK. This time I visit.
3 versus 1 this time. Spotless flings JLC away. This will be a dive by Kulit. Slam to the wall. Light picks up the kill. Spear a bit too late for his rescue. That's going to be a kill for Light.
Everyone's camping the mid lane. Everyone wants a taste of the mid lane. Earlier it was Weasel. This time we got JLC visiting as well. Clear a mistake there by Spotless. I think makakatakas sana siya doon. In the instance na hindi nga lang talaga siya dapat nakasalo nung heroic charge ni JLC.
They are really shutting down Spotless as early as they can.
Yeah, in the late game, malaking problema si Spotless.
Man, the early game phase of JC is supposed to be his prime, his strongest laning phase, but it's just being, you know, abused and shut down by IPT. I mean, 3 members gang, Colette hops off the wall, get him first blood. That's going to be more pressure.
And you could see the itemizations here of JLC prioritizing magic resistance. So we won't be seeing any early Sunfire Cape. Okay? Well, there could be an option to pick up the Bami Cinder tapos gawing cloak yan. Because I think mas intuitive pa rin na mag-Sunfire Cape si JLC dito. Early on, okay? Kasi meta pick naman sa kanya, especially with the Jace.
Same as Whistle. I mean, the Chain Fence is gonna build towards a Sunfire Cape. A first pickup, a really nice pickup actually for Nautilus, but I can't say the same for Poppy because I think a Spirit Visage would be better for a Poppy.
Okay, so gonna go for the Spirit Visage. But do take note, ayun nga. So hindi pa rin equip yung defensive stats dito ni Poppy pagpasok ng moment na si Spotless ang bumisita naman dito kay Poppy. Because right now, the composition of JSK Esports is heavily calling for armor and not magic resistance. Okay, even Whistle here, which is in the laning phase, in the Nautilus is threatening with his base APs sa kanyang skills. Still, he's building tank here. So really, I'm not seeing any heavy investment in terms of magic damage papunta kay JSK dito. Condition of our map would be an Infernal Drake available para sa IPT. And right now, it's not just Kulit that they are sending in the mid lane. They would be sending Rebenga as well. So Spotless should have a running protocol that he has.
Oh, Spotless!
All in.
A bit too much all in for IPT and gets the results they want. Shutting down Spotless. That's
0-3 on this Jace.
A flash, void gaze. Oh man, that's just brutal.
So, a textbook approach again mula sa IPT. Again, we were discussing earlier na ang JSK kaya namang makipagsabayan sa IPT. The one lane lang talaga that JSK would prevent to at least go disastrous would be the top lane. Would be the mid lane here on Spotless. And kaya naman sana nakakasabay si Spotless pagdating sa farm, pero talagang yung camp na to napatatlo-tatlo, ang hirap.
Oh, the steadfast presence denying spear of the knockup, but there is the bounce for JLC. There's the keeper's verdict also, but Whistle can still outduel it. Maybe not. He picks up the shield. Here comes 3 members responding to the top lane. Spear is left alone. He flashed for it. Will he pick it out? He has the passive. The cell division is there, but that's not going to save his life. Teleport to at least, you know, buy him some time. He does not have a flash. A wasted teleport for JSK.
Yes, of course. I was curious ba na yung nasa left side na part dito ni Zac yung tineleportan, hindi yung pinakamalapit sa Torre. Pero clearly, you know, 0-4 early on, 10 minutes into the game. This spells doom really for JSK. They need to steadily take a breather and dumahan-dahan sa larong to. Right now, they cannot afford giving any kills right now for IPT. Vision is very, very important on this laning phase pa rin naman to eh. But right now, IPT is really fully committing on sending multiple members sa mga lanes.
Spear did not see that coming. For the Poppy Steadman's presence to deny the knockup, they needed to start the fight. If the knockup happened, that would be damage, maybe secure the kill for JLC. But seeing how IPT rotates just goes to show what a veteran team is capable of. Just from planning phase, drafting phase, everything is calculated. And right now, obviously, JSK Esports entering the playoffs as the underdog still has to prove themselves. They have the chance. I mean, the itemization-wise, they are catching up with, you know, Spotless picking up the Yomu's Cosplay. Crystal Arrow will miss. That will be a safe play for JSK.
Steven Rebenga is here again. IPT fighting the laning phase as if it is the mid game phase. You know, laging patatlo-tatlo yung mga kasama mo. It's all about rotations here for IPT. At hindi ito sinasabayan syempre ng JSK, knowing that what they have is actually, you know, you want to stay in lane if you got a Lulu really on this Gene. Look at that top lane.
Whistle though dodges the first bomb. He still gets stunned by the second bomb. JLC pushed him away from the turret. He might have to activate his Titan's Rest. Does he have it? No! JLC flashed for the kill with the hammer from shield from the buckler. Will be sustaining him, plus the ultimate from the Zillion. Spotless is there though.
In the bottom lane,
That's going to be a back disengage for JSK's side, knowing that Blaze has no mana, same as Kulit though. He can't do much. This will be something that, you know, JSK has to look out for.
God. And actually not shown in our camera, Spotless died in the top lane. Okay. After trying to get a kill as well onto JLC, knowing na wala na, hindi na available.
Oh, Spear though, flanking the escape of Kulit, secures the first kill for his team. But giving the first third of the game is not wise. IPT just out-rotating JSK.
Yes, and ito yun eh. Early game eh, yun ang alam ng IPT. Sigurado kasi pagpasok ng late game, napakatigas na frontline ang meron dito ng JSK. So, they really want to capitalize and get any snowball that they can afford to get. Sa larong to, right now, Rebs is left out here in the bot lane.
I mean,
napakahirap nito para sa JSK. Right now, what I'd suggest is that, of course, take their lanes more conservative. 4 items are completed now para sa IPT dito. And again, play safe on the lane while securing vision. And play in such a way that you'd expect tatlo-tatlo ang papasok sa'yo mula sa Minaski. That's one. Because right now, guys, we're still in the laning phase, really. We're still in the laning phase. Despite, well, para sa JSK, I think they cannot still live this laning phase. But right now, these are the skirmishes.
Blaze catches the arrow like a baseball and giving Kulit his kill. So this will be an answer towards the Infernal Drake. What JSK needs to do is, I mean, out-rotate IPT. That's the only thing I can think of, because the way IPT plays is that for the laning phase alone, they're making it like it's the mid game already. Three members in the top lane, the mid lane, just shutting down, just destroying their early phase of the game will just be you know, a butterfly effect towards the late game. That's going to be huge.
And this one, this Infernal Drake +1 teleport from JLC, this could be the opener for IPT's real mid game, because they can send like 4 members, and I think they won't hesitate really on one lane.
Oh, this spells disaster for JSK. I mean, with that Malzahar support,
every flash equates to a kill.
Flash and the Void Gaze, and if Kulit is also there, a guaranteed kill. 1-9 the scoreboard, nearing 15 minutes into the game. This is going to be the second turret for IPT.
IPT fully utilizing the momentum that they have on that game 1 right now. 15 minutes into the game, this 6K goal lead is not a joke, especially in the hands of a team the likes of IPT. And there's a tempo that they have right now in this game. Let's see if can they get a clap on JLC.
JLC is actually all alone in the top lane. No members are rotating towards the top lane. It's going to be a 2 versus 1 with Whistle taking too much damage, but the shield from Blaze will help sustain the fight. JLC tries to get away, chugging that corrupting potion.
Of course, that is...
In the mid lane, Kulit overstayed, but the... Oh, the chrono shift is actually still not yet proc. Will he time it? And yes, he does! Spear gets the kill. A nice time for Spear. And now with the fight turning towards...
This will be nice. Spotless, no!
This exhaust, focusing on the Rebecca. Rebecca goes down.
Oh,
exhausted! Here comes the re-engage. Spear knocks him out. The damage though. Here comes and Hay gets knocked up. A teleport from the top lane. Here comes JLC with the Poppy. A disengage for Whistle. He gets stunned to the wall.
Elastic slingshot though.
Next lasting station missed onto life, but Spear, does he have his self-division? Does he have his passive for diving up too much? He does, but there is no teleport. Wait, there is. Whistle has the teleport, but will not commit to that. He cancels the teleport.
Yeah, of course.
Spear goes down, and with JLC just canceling that teleport of Whistle. That is an outplay for IPT.
That is like a small window para sa JSK dito. You know, clearly giving a reflection of their capabilities of taking a fight against IPT. Actually, in my opinion, pagpasok ng late game nga, yung Zillion dito would like scale down in a sense na it would heavily depend sa ultimate niya kung sino yung paglalagyan. Kasi pagpasok ng later part ng mid-game, Zillion would translate onto a support, you know, pseudo-support champion with the bombs. Depende kasi, conditional kasi yung damage ng bombs niya. So, ayun, pwede gawin dito ng JSK, antayin yung ultimate ng Zillion.
Drench line onto Hate, but there's no follow-up from his allies. There is Spear, there is no knock-up yet. So. Spotless gets knocked up by the steadfast presence, a double kill for Kulit. The current call, just JLC standing the line of fire, denying the damage. It's now Spear making his escape towards his turret, but JLC might, you know, flank it out. That's not gonna happen with Blaze in the scene. Kulit diving in. JLC though, he has the ultimate of Zillion. This is going to be a deny for JSK. Blaze, though, a bit too late. He can't do much. Flashed away. Will he get away? Spear is there. He might commit for
Oh
it.
my god!
There is the ball. Will it finish up? He has.
Yeah, Spear has...
That's
There's
just
no passive,
brutal.
yeah, for that one. Yes, of course. Light clearly not allowing any members of JSK Esports here this game. And eto yun. Eto yung mid-game natin, guys. And it cannot be denied with that dominating early game and laning phase ng IPT. This is like a free check for them. Itong mid-game natin. Itong mga fights na to na nagaganap sa blue side. And for that engage, I think separated pa yung Spear doon, yung JSK doon, and it's not really the ideal setup that JSK would want. You would want to fully utilize your main tanks here. And yep, this is a 4v1 there. Yes, cannot be denied that Weasel is the tanky as a member. But really, this is not very ideal. What would be ideal is if there are follow-up damage from the Jhin, but they are very, very far wala sa engage na to. So basically, it's just a demolition job here for IPT. You know, Spear managed to bag in Revenga, and lucky that there is the blasting cone available. Pero ito yung sumunod na dyan was lucky pick-ups and questionable re-engage there by JSK against IPT, with Spear actually staying. You know, yes, planning to at least put up a threat and peel for his ally, which is Blaze. Pero yun, nasalo niya, or rather, binigyan siya ng bomba dito ni Zillion. 4-15 pa rin. And again, this is an 8k gold lead in the mid-game phase with an Infernal Drake in the hands of IPT. JSK may want to wait out the mistakes here of IPT.
I mean, in terms of offensive itemization, JSK is catching up slowly, but the fact that IPT has that Zillion, the game-changing life for, you know, onto Light, it's just too much that JSK does not expect it. I mean, they focus on a high-priority target, but Light is there, so that gives them the, you know, silence. Where should we go next? Like, all their focus fire meant nothing. If they focus their resources onto one champion and the champion just gets revived, that spells bad news. The damage for IPT is still there.
Yes.
But for JSK's side, it just diminishes over time in a prolonged team fight.
One thing's for sure though, if JSK doesn't want to lose this game, because right now, winning this game is actually very deep into the abyss. It is two elements. It's vision and wave clear. And right now, that's not the case here with IPT.
Spear making his way. The steadfast presence just denies that initiate. A great,
of course,
great timing, but here comes, you know, Whistle with the Nautilus, and there's the current call. Let's see, maybe a re-engage by Spear.
In the back line!
In the back line,
ultimate!
two members are knocked up. Light is the member who is going to go down first, but he has the ultimate. Here comes the rapid growth.
This might be on JSK! This might be on JSK!
This might be for them. Here comes the bomb, but this might be a disengage. Spear goes down. Golem though still gets caught up by Whistle's strength line. Here comes H-Style for Bullet. Bullet onto JLC. JLC.
Oh, the shield!
The shield keeps him alive, and there is a three-man stun! A three-man stun for Light, and it's going to be an ace for IPT!
And that, guys, is our veteran team. We want to check the replay on that one. How did that fight occur? Kasi merong instance talaga na may opportunity, may window doon para sa JSK. The big question there is that, the big factor there is that yung unang initiate, eto natapos na yung unang initiate dito. I just want to mention kasi yung steadfast presence talaga ni Poppy is a very heavy counter against the Zac. But for this game, the instance na nakakonect, yung elastic slingshot dito ni Spear, yun na sana yung malaking panalo. I think it could be done better kung yung ultimate ni Lulu dito ay nilagay not on Weasel, but on Spotless, because IPT really doesn't mind Weasel. They're still targeting the main damage dealers dito ng JSK. And for that part, for that small window, natapos na yung lamang doon na... Ay, eto pa rin yung lamang ng JSK. Pero yan, that shield, the pick up on the buckler, doon po nanalo yung IPT. And also that triple bomb, the triple target, triple stun on the double bomb of the Zillion. That's 520 on our scoreboard, and that is an 11k gold lead. Wow.
That's what I was talking about. When JSK focus on to, let's say, Light, just from Zillion's ultimate alone, that will make JSK's efforts meaningless, and that's what happened there. All their damage, you know, abilities were spent on that. Nothing happened, and Light was still able to deal that so much damage, and the three-man stun, such a game changer.
There's liberty for IPT here to take the Baron. It is relatively slow because it's quite too early really to take that one up. Right now, JS's job He's actually zone members away of JSK, but rather, IPT would take a fight.
They pick a fight at the right time. Blaze flashed away. Rapid Girls has his spell.
Nobody's dying yet.
But there is the ultimate of
Blaze
that
done.
Zillion. It is so annoying. And now A-Star trying to make his escape from JLC. But look at that. JLC does not mind the turret. For him, he does not see any turret. And the Buckler will secure his kill.
The power of the decision-making of IPT. In the instance, Spear, of course, textbook yon. Kung gusto ni Spear makakuha ng steal, he needs to take a flank position. The very, I'd say, advantage sana ng blue side dito. Parang nauna nga doon sa Baron Pit would be the red side, which is IPT. Pero nung ginawa ng IPT, wala si Spear. Wala yung kalahati ng defense nila. Let's go for a fight, a pick-up, and yup.
Oh man, that JLC is on point with the Steadman's presence. Kulid leaps away in the arms of danger, but there is still Light with the damage and the shock blast, empowered shock blast gets the kill on Kulid. We might see a chase, but there is the bomb slowing down Jengski.
Kaya pa to ng JSK. Kung ganun yung damage na pwedeng mailagay ni Spotless dito, isa pang core item or actually kahit component item lang, he has enough damage on that empowered shock blast. It's about sniping members of IPT as they try to advance. Correct the cue.
I mean, I totally agree with you with that, Shimu, but it's the fact that it's the face check of Blaze that really caught off guard, and look at that, Blaze is trying to buy some time, but JSC just ignoring Blaze, goes for the Baron instead. This will be a Baron fight.
A-Style though.
A-Style cannot do much. They started the Baron way too early. They secured the Baron, but with 2 members dead, and with only 3 members dead and 2 members are alive, they will have to get away with the Baron on the hands. But is it worth it? I think not with the trade.
They may want to check on their death timers. Their top lane is pushing.
Their top lane is pushing, and this is going to be a really long death timer, and Whistle may not survive with all the team sacrifice for that Baron buff. Will he make it out alive? I'm pretty sure not. He has no mana, and Light is just on his back right now.
Yeah, and there's no inner bottom lane turret. Here comes Kulid. He actually flash in, goes for the flash out, and yeah, let's check the replay. So, very questionable Baron here for Jengski. Totally.
A very rushed Baron.
Yeah, it's a very rushed Baron. Cannot be denied that it would be better if A-Style stayed inside the Baron pit because ayan, papasok lang si JLC and at least nagamit man lang yung tank nila. And yeah, they lack damage. Good thing they have the smite advantage. Yun lang. Pero in the instance kung na-double bomb pa yun ni Light, spell bad. Right now, this is just a cleanup for IPT. In the instance na nawala na yung main damage dito ng Jengski, they could just utilize their utility and right now they're making pickups.
The pickups is done with Whistle's death timer almost up, and Blaze just straight from the fountain but goes back to the grave. Imperium Pro Team showing what they've got into the playoffs. The powerhouse is really showing right now.
Kailangan mapusuan nito ng Jengski. Ladies and gentlemen, cannot be denied na ang lamang talaga patik sa mid lane natin dito ay napakalaki na. Pero again, they could just stall this one to get the
current call. But the current call onto Rebecca. The 4th bullet is still active, misses, but that still gives Jengski a time to recuperate, maybe to defend this turret, maybe not. They can still defend the base. It's not yet over. 4 members are still alive. Spawless death timer is 30 seconds. What will they do to change the game? And JSC is still on point with the deny of the Steadfast presence. He just knocks up 2 members of Jengski Esports. It's going to be a cleanup with Blaze trying to make do. He cannot survive that hammer snatch. And here comes the cleanup of Kulid.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, gonna focus onto Weasel, even under the Nexus turret. That's gonna be IPT. They're gonna get themselves the ace, and they're gonna get themselves the base. This is gonna be IPT qualifying into the round 2 of the playoffs here in the Pro Gaming Series 2017 Spring Split.
Congratulations for IPT making their way to round 2 of the playoffs and maybe to the finals to face their, rival Ninja.
Yes, man. I mean, for that game, that's the power of a composition which has multiple options for engage. If you have lots of engage sa composition, you got the Malzahar, you actually have the Kha'Zix as well. But Kha'Zix is an assassin. Pero samahan mo ng assurance ng Zillion na may bomba. And of course with the ult. And there's also an Ashe. So in essence, they got, if I'm not mistaken, 3 initiates. The support is, that's a Malzahar, okay? So 3 main initiates with a very nice utility in the mid lane. Early game. Technically, the early game, sa inyo yon. It's just a matter of really walking into the lanes and go for those engage. go for those engage, lalo na pagpasok nung level 6, and that's what IPT had done. They have won, I'd say, countless victories in the early game against JSK. And I'd say, kakasabi lang natin sa draft na yung JSK, they had a really nice comp on this one. They're looking pretty good. Pero ayun ang nakita ng IPT. Let's go for the early game, okay? Kaya natin yan. Get the snowball and close the game early on. And yep, look at that. JLC, perfect KDA in the top lane. And you can see the damage dealt as well of, wow, the top laner here of IPT. Well, actually, if you look into the stats right now, JLC, this split is his weakest split. Pero that's not the case anymore. As we see this round 1 of the playoffs against JSK Esports. That is just crazy. This is like the seasoned IPT that we've seen, okay? Wala na yung mga 1-1. Wala na yung mga fluke na nakita natin noong regular season. This is IPT. The IPT that we've seen in the Rampage. The IPT that we've seen who is actually fighting in the upper echelons ng ating PGS.
And wow, what a game it was for IPT, sweeping that game 2-0 in the best of 3. So that is an auto, entitlement to round 2 to fight Acclaim Empire X on day 2 of the playoffs. So I mean,
the final game nila.
The
Actually,
final game.
dito sa ating, we know that kind of rivalry. It cannot be denied that IPT and Mineski is a long-time rivalry. Then fresh, pinaka-fresh. And actually, I'd say so far, impactful na rivalry ngayon na pinag-usapan sa community would be AEX and IPT. Big question pa rin yung series nila. I want to review if that is 1-1, pero malaking tanong pa rin talaga. I think that went out 1-1. I may want to check the standings on that one if I'm not mistaken. And malaking tanong kasi bukas in the playoffs dito sa gauntlet natin, best of 3 yan. Hindi tayo matatapos na may patas dyan. Clearly, one of these two teams, AEX, IPT, would come out of that game saying that we are the better team.
And of course, we still have that guess that throw. You've seen the first game, and you've seen the second game. So let's have it all. I mean, here's the link. Type it really quickly because we're going to reveal the answer in a matter of seconds.
For our professional player, of course, here we go. That's gonna be one of the most mechanically skilled player in the PGS, ladies and gentlemen. He has a very, very wide champion pool. I'd say, entering this game, may clue na, entering this game, siya ang may pinakamalaking champion pool and known for his Azir plays. Actually, I would add a clue on that one. He is the only pro player I'd say na nag-pick up, pumili ng Azir on this PGS split, on this 2017 spring split, despite Azir having one of the lowest win rate, sa champion after the nerfs.
Okay, guys, the timer has started. We are almost, gonna reveal the answer. Please hurry up. Less than 50 seconds left. Who is that pro?
Yes, of course. On that link, kung tama yung sagot nyo, give the correct answer. Ladies and gents, hindi nyo kailangang isama yung team tag nila. Tanging yung pangalan lamang ng ating professional player. And bam, you get yourself your mystery gift to be inserted, of course, in 5 working days.
And if you put your answer after we reveal the answer, that's no merit. So hurry it up. And the timer is done.
Alright,
is...
ladies and gentlemen, that player is gonna be Light, mid laner of IPT. Crazy KDA as he enters this game. Actually, I'd say double zillion on this best of 3 series in these 2 games. Quick sweep against JSK. Quite of a conservative pick-up, knowing the capabilities ng Light, but we've seen him on the LeBlanc, on the Azir, on the 4K. We've known his plays. I think we've got one stream where he played Gragas and he was setting up barrel roll. Then he just used the explosive cast para i-displace yung champion para mapunta doon sa barrel roll.
It was
classic, so satisfying.
It was so satisfying and we were all surprised. So I mean, Light has been a really, good constant mid laner, and we're gonna have a interview with him.
We're gonna have an interview with him, and again, as to mention, guys, sa ating gauntlet nga po, yan, ang susunod natin na stage, again, ito na po, AEX versus IPT on the day 2 ng ating playoffs. Okay? So we got JSK grayed out. We want to send a biggest shoutouts to JSK Esports. This is no ordinary feat. The only team from the new ones na nakaka-qualify sa playoffs on their first split in the PGS. Pero yan po, AEX and IPT. Rampage 2016. Ito na talaga. Ito na, hindi na 2-game series. Best of 3.
Even though JSK, Esports lost the first game in the playoffs, this is still an achievement for them. Keep their heads high.
They have a very, very nice history.
They have a nice history.
Yeah.
They entered the split, new team, and now next split. Let's hope that they perform, better. Let's
I've been looking forward for JSK. Next split, seryoso yan. No, sigurado yan. Ulitin nga na nakakwalify sa ating PGS playoffs 2017 spring. And I want to mention, they started the split. They're like the Badge Lords, diba? Like parang who are this ragtag group of players? Sino ba to, diba? Kasi for the most part, yung mga bagong team sa Piltovers, sometimes meron silang connections sa mga professional players, on getting scouted. Pero itong JSK, sila mismo yung nagsama-sama, diba? Para maging team.
With that said, guys, we'll be going to our interview shortly, but we'll see the highlights of the game. The part of the games where you like to see it. It's like the TLDR of the game.
Yes.
What happened? What did you miss? And after that, we'll have our interview with the mid laner of IPT.
Yes.
Live.
It's been an amazing set of games, ladies and gentlemen, and we have been your shoutcasters for this game. I am Shinbu with a 1, 4, and I. And of course, with me is Vulcan. That's going to be the conclusion of the round 1 of the playoffs for the Garena Pro Gaming Series 2017 Spring Split powered by Bacchus Energy Drink. Drive your energy, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back for the interview.
Gets locked up by the steadfast presence on top of the for lit. The current call just fails. He's standing the line of fire, denying the damage. Now Fear making his escape towards his turret, but JSK is trying to knock it out. That's not gonna happen. Bullet time for JSK though. He has the movement of Zillion. This is going to be a deny for JSK. Blaze though, up into the lane. Flashed away, couldn't get away. Spear is there, he finds the victory.
Oh my god!
There is the ball, would finish off. They're making way. The steadfast presence just denies that initiates a great timing, but here comes, Whistle, Nautilus, and there's the current call. Let's see, maybe a re-engage by Spear.
Backline!
The backline, two members are knocked up. Light is the member who is going to go down first, but he has the ultimate. Here comes the rabbit goat.
This might be on JSK! This might be on JSK!
This might be for them. Here comes the ball, but this might be a thing. JSK goes down. Bullet though still gets caught up by Whistle's strength side. Here comes the ace down towards Bullet. Bullet on TLC.
Oh, the shield!
The shield keeps him alive, and there is a 3-man stun! A 3-man stun! Forward line, and it's going to be an ace for IPT!
IPT would take a fight!
They pick a fight at the right time. Blaze flashed away. Rabbit Ghost has his spell.
Nobody's dying yet!
But there is the ultimate. Oh, God, Zillion. It is so annoying, and now A-Star trying to make his escape. Blaze goes for the Baron. Instead, this will be a Baron fight.
A-Style though!
A-Star cannot do much. He started the Baron way too early. They secured the Baron, but 2 members dead. There's only 3 members dead, and 2 members are alive. They will have to get away with the Baron on the hand. But is it worth it? I guess not.
Maybe want to check if they're dead timers. They're
The current go on to the right, and the 4th bullet is still active. Listen! But that still fits. Key at times. Maybe defend this turret, maybe not. They can still defend the base. Not yet over. 4 members are still alive. Flawless death time is 30 seconds. What will be the game? JSK is still on point with the deny and instead not present. He just got the members against these ones. It's going to be a cleanup with Blaze trying to make the move. He cannot survive that has the armor stand. And here comes the freedom down.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, gonna focus onto Weasel, even under the Nexus turret. That's gonna be IPT. They're gonna get themselves the ace, and they're gonna get themselves the base. This is qualifying into the round 2 of the playoffs here in the Pro Gaming Series 2017 Spring Split.
Congratulations for IPT making their way to round.
Good evening, everyone. Of course, you're still watching the round 1. Well, the round 1 just finished of the Pro Gaming Series 2017 Spring Split. I am Atlas, and with me to close off the day is an interview with IPT Light. We saw a zillion plays in both of these games, so we're gonna ask him a few questions. So una-una, sobrang iba ng performance ng IPT sa game na to compared sa previous games sa Split. Tinatago nyo lang ba yung tunay na kapangyarihan nyo para sa playoffs?
Well, actually, hindi siguro namin tinatago. Ang nangyari kasi sa amin, relatively new team kami kasi meron kaming 3 additions sa roster namin, which is malaking factor. Then, nag-add pa kami ng isa. So, slowly talaga, time lang talaga yung parang nagiging constraint para mailabas namin yung totoong laro namin.
So unti-unti over the split, nilabas yung inyong 100% lakas. Ang pangalawang question naman natin ngayon ay, sobrang iba na Zillion mo sa ibang mid lane Zillion. Paano yung mindset mo at yung mechanics mo na naglalaro ng isang super aggressive na mid lane Zillion? Kasi it's a support and a carry as well.
Well, kasi sa Zillion naman, flexible naman siya eh. So, tiwala ka na lang sa speed boost tsaka reflexes mo. Then, yung mga teammates ka naman kinokol lagi kung meron bang around na kalaban. So, parang magiging ready ka na kung may mangyayari man.
Okay, final question for tonight for you, IPT Light. Ilang beses na na-represent ng IPT ang PGS sa GPL natin? And going into 2017, ano sa tingin mo yung magiging performance ng Pilipinas as a whole sa international stage, sa Southeast Asian stage sa GPL? Ano sa tingin mo yung mangyayari, mga developments?
Well, compared last year, mas okay na yung PH ngayon eh. Kasi nag-evolve na rin yung game dito. Medyo more on rotation na siya, hindi na individual, hindi na pure mechanics, hindi na counter picks. Meron na rin siyang mostly rotations and compositions na. Kaya tingin ko, magiging maganda yung laban natin ngayon sa GPL kung kahit sino man manalo sa amin.
All right, and there we have it. IPT Light's thoughts on the Philippine state coming into GPL. It's definitely the macro play across all teams has improved. But of course, that's all the time we have today. Thank you, IPT Light.
Thanks.
And good job in today's games. Still, next week we're going to have more games for the playoffs of the Pro Gaming Series 2017 Spring Split, powered by Bacchus. And thank you for watching all 2 games for today. Of course, I am Atlas. With me is IPT Light, and we'll be seeing you next week.